Well, now, greetings and salutations to you all once again. It is I, the Ravenous Spectre, and I want to do a little bit of a rant. I guess it's kind of been a while since I've really done one of these, but obviously, recently we've ended up having some talk about video games and violence and how video games are going and affecting the kiddies out there and affecting other people to go and do violent acts, which is an absolute load of bullshit. For years and years and years now, there has been tests done, and there is no relation whatsoever between violence and video games. There isn't. There's been so many tests that's been done. But you have these crusty old fart politicians that are going on these news channels and going and saying, it's the games, it's the games, it's the video games. The video games are the ones that's causing the downfall of humanity. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a whole hell of a lot of other things that's causing the downfall of humanity, and video games are at the bottom of the freaking ladder. So, you end up hearing all these stories about, we got to get rid of the violent video games, we got to get rid of this, we got to get rid of that, this and that and this and that. They don't even bother to go and talk about violent TV shows, violent movies, violent music, violent books, magazines, what the hell ever. What the hell ever when it comes to the different types of media that has violence in it. They don't bother to say anything about that. They go and they use a scapegoat, just like they always do, to cover up probably some other news story, just like they always do, to try to go and blame video games for violence. And it is absolute bullshit. I have played all types of games my entire life. My entire life. I've played the cutest games to the most dark and violent games. Ever since I was old enough to hold a controller. And not once have I ever felt about wanting to be that way towards anybody or anyone. Nothing. None whatsoever. Because I know how to tell the difference between fantasy and reality. And it's an absolute mindfuck the way that these people, anytime there's any type of violent thing, it's always the video games. The video games. Every single time, man. Every time. They can't think about anything else or what any other type of reason it would be, mental health or whatever. No, it's always the video games. I'm like, you know what? Y'all are all full of shit. Because obviously, these are people, of course, what would you expect when people go onto news channels and go and run their mouth? Half of them probably don't even have the facts anyways. They just go up there to try to get 15 minutes of fame and run their damn mouth, and that's it. But obviously, they don't look up facts. They don't look up studies. They don't look up the facts and the studies of this stuff. And they're just going on there running their damn mouth. Trying to act like it's supposed to be some type of godforsaken witch hunt or something with video games. Blows my friggin' mind, man. Anyways, and another thing, if we want to go ahead and put it out there when it comes to dealing with kids and violent games, well, you know, there's this magical thing called being a parent. If you're going to be a person that's going to have a kid, then raise your kid right. Why are you going and letting them play in violent games? If that actually wants to be one of the things that comes into the light here, then why don't you watch out for what your kids do? Why don't you actually watch what it is that you're buying for them? I mean, how hard is that for you to do? And if you end up going and saying, oh, well, they go over to their friend's house and they play these violent games, then don't have them go over to that friend's house. Wow, how hard is that? You're the parent. You're the one that calls the shots. I mean, my God, man. And another, watch what you're buying your kids. Is it hard for you to actually read a box where it says exactly what to expect out of the game, exactly what the rating is on the bottom of the box? Is it so hard for you to be able to read? To know what you're getting your kid? Oh my Lord, man. And it's some of these exact same parents too that are going and blaming these games, and they're the ones that are enabling it. They're the ones that are buying it. Kids can't go and buy these games without a parent or a legal guardian. They can't go and do that kind of stuff. They have to be over the age of 18. And another thing, if it boils down to them going onto digital storefronts and buying this stuff and getting this stuff, then maybe you actually need to lock down your wallet or lock down your purse and keep them from getting in there, getting your credit cards, getting your debit cards. You know, be a parent and actually pay attention to what the fuck your kid is doing. Oh my Lord. It's just dumbass parents and dumbass politicians that don't know how to take a freaking minute out of their day to go look at studies that have been done and go look at results. and they want to go and blame a lifeless object. Go and blame an inanimate object that, oh wow, this is the reason why we're having this violence. This is the reason. We got to go after the game developers because of this shit. And yet you end up having these exact same news websites that are going and showing violent content. And oh, they'll show the violent content all day long, 7 days a week. But oh, nobody's saying anything about that now, are they? No, we ain't saying anything about that because it's real, because it's news. Just because it's real and because it's news doesn't mean that you have to go and show every damn thing that's happening, but you do anyways. But you want to go and blame the video games for violence. Right, yeah, because that makes a lot of damn sense. Anyways, I just want to go ahead and do a little bit of rant about this because it's another one of those things that just makes me go, oh my God. Once again, we're using video games as a scapegoat. It just blows my mind, man. The stupidity that's out there in the world is mind-blowing. But anyways, I just want to go ahead and do a little bit of talk on that and do my little rant. And, I kind of feel like what happened with Trump going and saying this, he's got all these... I really don't think that Trump really knows, Mario from Sonic, to be honest. I don't think he knows who Sonic is or who Mario really is, and I think he's just got all these crusty old fart politicians, the peanut gallery as I refer to them as, getting in his ear, telling him all this shit to say on TV, and that's just all there is. Like, those politicians are nothing but a hive mind. They're all thinking the same thing and going and telling the president what to say, and he's going and saying it and relaying it. It's just it's an absolute load of bullshit because, something like that ended up happening recently with another shooting that had occurred too. And they ended up having a meeting with, what was it, the ratings board or something like that. I think it was like the ESRB, I believe it was. And basically, it was like a no contest. There was there was no results. There was nothing positive or negative that came out of it. There was no results. There was nothing that had happened. From what I had read from some articles, they thought it was really awkward that they ended up having this meeting and nothing was really discussed. Nothing really happened. So it's almost like it's just back to square one again when it comes to this stuff. So, but anyways, I guess I digress on the matter. But I just want to go ahead and give a little talk about this, and I'll go ahead and end this like I always do. Later, taters.